From the headquarters of the Guild of Champions, this is the Chris Terrell Podcast, and I am your host, Chris Terrell, and welcome to another week of your weight loss quest. How did this last week go for you, champion? What new challenges did you encounter? But more importantly, what failure did you go through, and what lesson did you get from that failure? Come on now, don't let a perfectly good failure go by without you getting your lesson. That's your reward for your troubles, by the way. Now, if you're new here, I've lost 125 pounds myself after an entire adulthood of chronic yo-yo dieting. Up, down, again, before I finally got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I made some permanent, meaningful, and actual changes to my real-life lifestyle, habits, routines, environment, community, and to my systems of belief. Because it's all of those things that get the results in my life, and if I wanted new results, I was going to have to go back to the source and change those 6 things. And now I'm here every week, helping the good folks like you get the same results in your life, and I couldn't be more excited to do it. This week's a fun one. Why is this one a fun one? Because this week was my birthday. I'm not normally a birthday kind of fella. I'm not normally the kind of guy that makes a big to-do about my birthday. In fact, I very much don't care for the attention that comes with it. But this is a big one because I turned 40 this week. 40 years old on this planet. I know that's not actually that old. I've become old enough to know how not old that is. But you know, it's old enough that I'm starting to feel like an adult. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, there's gray hairs there. When did you show up? I'm starting to feel the creakies and the groanies that come, even though I'm in shape. You know, that body just don't quite work the way it used to when it was younger. I remember when I was younger, I could cut myself and watch it heal. Now I cut myself and I might need to go to the doctor for an antibiotic for a damn paper cut. And I love to reflect. If you're a longtime listener to the show, you know occasionally I'll do an episode where it involves me going back in time or talking to my past self. I love to play with the concept of time when communicating with myself, because we all have a past, we all have a present, we all have a future. And I can actually send messages to my future self. I can write them down on a piece of paper and send a message forward in time. Now, I can send a message backwards in time, but unfortunately, my younger self has no means of hearing it, which is a bummer. But here's the cool thing about the fact that there are so many of us out there in the world. I can send a message back in time to my past self, and it will actually come to you when you are where I was. So what I want to do is I'm going to switch kind of headset spaces for a second here in a minute. And I'm going to talk to my 30-year-old self. I'm going to talk to 30-year-old Chris. He just turned 30. I know everything about that guy. I know what he thought. I know how he felt. I knew how his life was. He can't hide anything from me. I knew it all, or know it all. And so I wrote a message to him, knowing him. But here's the cool thing. I know that some of you are like how I was right now. Some of you are like, you're in your place in life where I was in mine. Now, maybe you happen to be 30. Maybe you happen to be 25. Maybe you happen to be 55. I don't know what age you are. So let's not get all caught up on the age. And let's just recognize that I'm talking to myself 10 years in the past. And I'm going to try to pass some wisdom to my past self, knowing that I can't, but I can pass it to you. But also, this is a benefit for me. I'm getting a lot out of this. It's caused me to sit down and really reflect. What have I learned over the last 10 years? What are the lessons, the takeaways? And there are many. This is not by any means an exhaustive list. But these are some of the really important things. So, okay, let me get my headspace. All right, headspace. I'm talking to my old self. Here we go. Hey, Chris. It's me. You. 10 years down the road. Look at me. I'm pretty thin and in shape, aren't I? Oh, man. You're just looking at me. If only you could see what the rest of my life looks like. But we need to have a talk. Okay? You know, since you and I, from where you're at, we've been through some stuff. And, like, some stuff. We've actually learned that life can punch pretty damn hard. But we've also learned how amazing it can be. But I'm not here to sugarcoat things for you, because that's not what you need. You see, I know that what you need a little tough love. You need the things that Dad wishes he could say to you, but he doesn't know how to say it to you in a way that you'll hear him. Now, you don't know this, but here in 5 years, you're going to lose him, and he's going to give you one piece of advice that's going to change your life. And I'm not going to give you that one now. I'm going to let you wait until he gives it to you, because I think you'll actually hear him then. But there's some things I think I could say to you now that maybe you'll hear. And maybe you won't need the lesson he's going to tell you. Here's the thing. You're what, 30 right now? I know what's running through your head. You're feeling stuck, angry, like life's just this never-ending loop of doing what you're supposed to do, but never getting where you want to be. You never seem to get the rewards that are promised if you do all the things that you think everybody wants you to do. And honestly, I know you can't lie to me. I know that you're scared to admit you're unhappy because you think doing so means that you've failed. That's not true. Let me tell you something. You haven't failed. Not yet, anyway. You will if you don't wake the hell up and start paying attention to your life. All right? I got a lot of things I need to tell you right now. And I know right now you're going to want to fight me. You're going to want to push me. Your ego is going to stand up and defend itself. And you don't even know what I'm talking about with that ego because you don't think you have one. So I just need you to listen. I need you to just listen. Thankfully, you can't respond to me. I just want you to listen. You don't need to learn all this stuff at once. Just listen. And come back and listen again. And then come back and listen again. You need everything I'm about to tell you. And here's this first one. I'm going to start with the most important one. Stop being so damn hard on yourself. I know it feels like beating yourself up is the only way to push forward, but it's not. You don't grow by breaking yourself down. You grow by building yourself up. That voice in your head, the one that says you're not enough, yeah, it's lying to you. You've got to start treating yourself like someone worth saving because you know what? You are. You are. You do need a little saving. You do. And you're worth it. Now, we also need to take a second and talk about time. You think you have all the time in the world, don't you? You think that there's all this time to deal with stuff. Someday is coming. You don't have that much time. You really don't. None of us do. Stop wasting time. Stop waiting for the right moment for someone to give you permission to chase your dreams. Newsflash, dude. No one is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not some magical opportunity called luck. It's all on you, my dude. And that's a good thing, though. I know right now you're like, well, I don't like this. I don't like knowing that it's all on me. I got dad. He can come bail me out. I got dad. He can bail me out. Yeah, that's right. You got no one but him. Remember how I said you're going to lose him sometime in the next decade? It's all on you. But that's such a good thing because you're in control. You're in control. But for this to matter, for this to work, you got to recognize, man, you're not as smart as you think you are. Yeah, I said it to you. Yeah, I did. You said you can't respond to me. You've got a lot to learn. And the sooner you start asking questions instead of pretending you know everything, the better off you'll be. You're going around spouting your knowledge. People are coming trying to help you, and all you're trying to do is show off how smart you are. Do you not realize how many people are trying to help you win? They're trying to share with you their lessons. They're trying to make your life easier and better. But your ego, it's just so terrifying to just say, I didn't know that. What are you so scared of? Just say, I didn't know that. Or I don't know. Wisdom that I know you're desperately seeking. Wisdom starts with humility. Open your mind. Let the world teach you a thing or two. I promise there's going to come a time, and it's going to feel weird when it does. There's going to come a time when people are going to look to you, and you need to have the answers. There's going to be kids that are going to be in your life. They're going to look to you. They have no one in their life but you, and they're going to want to know the answers to life. And you need to know them. And if you're over here being too smart with this full cup, you're never going to learn anything. And when these people in the future that are coming need you to give them the answers, you're not going to be able to give them the answers all because of your pride. You've got to be more humble. You've got to be more curious. You've got to ask more questions, get more knowledge, because I promise the day is coming. Get ready. The day is not here, though. Today isn't your day. I know at work and some places you're top dog. Cool. But where it really matters in life, like at home with yourself, with your family, with your friends, you ain't top dog and you don't know everything. Be more humble and stop Stop living your life automatically on autopilot. That's why you're spouting all this stuff, because you automatically think your ego feels triggered and you're like, oh, I have to defend myself. And you automatically start spouting your smartness to people, all this knowledge you've picked up. Yeah, I know you know some cool stuff. You do. But keep it to yourself. This person in front of you is trying to tell you things. This is an example of where you're stuck in routines that keep giving you the same results and you're wondering why nothing's changing. Look around your life, man. Look around you. You'll see that all these things in life that aren't how you want them, what are you doing to change it? You know why you keep having the results you don't want? It's because you're doing the same damn thing every day. Mix it up. Take a different route to work. Try a new hobby. Meet some new people. Shake up your world. And your world's going to start to change. Everything you're wanting in life is on the other side of a shakeup. Look around you. You don't like your job the way it is. You don't like the relationship the way it is. You don't like your body the way it is. You don't like your house the way it is, your finances. There's very little of your life that you're like, that's the way I want it to be for the next forever. There's very little of that. Shake it up. Stop being so afraid of what you might lose, because if you don't lose something, there's no room for something new. Now, speaking of something new, let's talk about dreams for a second. I know you can't hide it from me. I know you won't admit it to people, but I know you've got some big dreams in you. I know you do. You can't hide it from me. I know it because I was you. I know those dreams are in you. And I know every time you start thinking you might want them, you just slap them out of your metaphorical hand and say, no, we can't have that. We can't do that. Or you're too afraid. You'll admit you want it, but you're too afraid to go after them because you're worried about what people are going to think. Oh, what if I go for it and I fail? Oh, what if I don't look cool when I'm doing it? Oh, what are people going to think and say about me? I know, but let me tell you something. I know you're not going to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway, because I think at some point you will hear me. Their opinions don't matter. They truly are inconsequential. They're irrelevant. They're not even noise. They don't matter. Not one bit. Because this is your life. It's not theirs. They're just imposing their standards for living on you. Stop living for the approval of other people. Stop living to make everybody else happy at the expense of yourself. Start living for your own happiness. For yourself. Start living to make a life that you want for you. But speaking of that happiness, do you know what you truly want, though? I know you got these big dreams. I know you do, but are they even those? Are they truly what you want? Not what you've been told to want. What sets your soul on fire? Look, I know that some parts of your life, you know this. You know the things that excite you, that give you passion. But there's so much more that you don't know. There are so many things that were going to just fire you up and get you excited for living. And you just haven't found them yet because you're too afraid. Sit down, ask yourself, grab a piece of paper, put it in front of you with a pen. I know it feels weird. It only feels weird because it's new. So stop saying it feels weird and say it feels new. Sit down, grab a piece of paper, learn to study yourself on paper, think on paper, write down at the top of the page. What would I do if I wasn't afraid? Write that down. What would I do if I wasn't afraid? And then fill in the page. Just write. Just keep the pen moving. Set a timer for 10 minutes. No distractions. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. In fact, put it on Do Not Disturb. Take your watch off. Put them in the other room. The world's not going to end in 10 damn minutes. In 1990, we had no way to reach people, and somehow the world kept spinning. You are not that important. People don't actually need you in a 10-minute timetable. You're probably not a doctor on call for the ER, and if so, keep that pager with you. Just set the world aside. You're not that important. And just write down your dreams. Write them down. Write them down. And then go do it. Go get it. Don't just dip your toes in. Dive in. Commit. Swan dive into that pool of your dreams. Don't dip your toe in it and dabble in it. Make it all you. Be willing to pay the price, though. Because I know you don't want this to be the case, but everything worth having does come with a cost. It has a price. And look at it. If you're not willing to pay that price, then let that dream go. Truly, deeply, honestly, let it go and move on. The next 10 years, you're going to have to do that. There's some things you love. I mean, truly, genuinely love. Some of them are things you have now, and some of them are dreams of what you hoped could be. Sometimes you're going to realize it's a price you either are unwilling to pay or you can't, or the buying window's gone. It's time to let go. It's time to let go of some things. There's some activities that served you, man. I know you like your video games. I know you do. And look, you can keep playing them if you want. I just want you to know there's going to come a time where you're going to sit down and you're going to total up the number of hours you spend a week playing video games. You're going to total it up. And you're going to look at that number and you're going to ask yourself the question, how different could my life be if I spent just half of this time working on me? And then you're going to do it. You're going to take half that time and you're going to start working on yourself. And you're going to watch your life transform rapidly in short order. And then you're going to think, well, what if I took half of what was left of the video games and worked on myself more? And you're going to get even more results. And one day you're going to sit there and think you could play video games and you're going to just say, I just don't think it's worth it. I think I'm done. And you're just going to let it go. I know that sounds crazy right now. I know you're like, no, I can't do that. It's not worth it. Because I want to play the video games. And as long as you want to play the video games, that's what you're going to do. That's fine. And I also want you to realize, though, that you've been saying that this body you have, you've been acting like you're broken, acting like something's wrong with you, and that's why you can't be thin. Dude, you're just not taking accountability. You're not taking responsibility for it. Yeah, I know. You don't know what to do. But you're overcomplicating it. Now, I'm not going to give you the answers. I don't want to rob you of the journey of figuring it out. I don't. You need it. But I want to give you a nudge and say, look, you can wait. You can wait. But you also, look, when Dad's going to die, I know you don't want to know this is happening, but I'm going to tell you, when he's going to die, what's going to happen is you're going to stop and you're going to evaluate your own life. Because you're going to realize that you're going to die. All of a sudden, death isn't going to become some abstract, ethereal concept. It's going to be real. And all of a sudden, you're going to realize that one day you're going to die. And you might find yourself dying on a deathbed where you're still conscious and knowing that the end is coming in the next week or two. Because that's what you're going to see your dad do. And you're going to watch him ponder on his life. And you're going to wonder, what would I think of mine? And I know that right now, if you were to next week be on that deathbed, reflecting on your life up to this point, I know what you think. I know you'd have regrets. I know you'd regret that you didn't work on it. You were settling. You were calling it good enough, waiting for someday to arrive to do all the things you should. Don't wait for that moment to change how you see time. You can. If you don't learn it earlier, it's going to teach you then. But here's the problem of waiting. When you realize that you were going to die, when you realize that, you started to flourish. You started to become the man that you were capable of being. And you're going to have this thought, I'm really sad Dad didn't get to see me be this way. You have all these people in your life that you're still letting them hold you back because they're your safety net. Sometimes you need to break free. Sometimes you need to break free. But understand, when you break free, when you go for the life of your dreams, As much as I know you don't, you're gonna make mistakes. So many mistakes. I laugh because it's just sometimes something so bad, all you can do is chuckle at it and be like, really? Oh man, you're going to make so many mistakes. And it's okay. At some point, you'll truly, genuinely understand it's okay. Hell, you're going to actually understand not only is it okay, it's necessary. You're going to begin to realize these mistakes you've been trying so hard to avoid making, you're going to realize that's why you've continued to fuck everything up. Because you're going to finally understand for real that mistakes are how you learn. And you'll let yourself get that lesson out of that mistake. But man, up until now, you ain't been doing such a good job about that. You're over here trying to avoid mistakes, which let's say what it is. I'm over here trying to avoid learning. Here's the deal, man. When you screw up, own it. Just own it. Who cares? If somebody cares, then don't fuck them. Who cares? Don't blame anyone else. Don't wallow in self-pity. It doesn't feel good. Do you want to have a pity party? Did you realize you having a pity party for yourself is the same as somebody else having a pity party for you? And I know damn well how you feel when somebody else is having a pity party on you. You hate it. Well, then why are you having pity parties for yourself? It's no different. You still feel the same way. You feel pathetic. And I figured out somewhere along the way, and man, please learn it sooner than I did. I mean, you can save yourself years of this. You can just be okay with failure. It's not like some big monumental thing. It's just a flip. It's a switch you flip in your head. You're like, failure's bad, failure's okay. And then when you fail, you go, failure's bad. Nope. That was the automatic thought. Failure's good. Failure's good. All right, I got to get a lesson in here. Oh, no, my ego's flaring up. You're going to feel that damn ego constantly come in and mess things up. You should be like, hush, ego. Oh, there's a lesson here. I want to learn it. And the ego's like, no, it's not your fault. It's somebody else's. You're like, ego, go away. Go away. What's the lesson? What's the lesson? No, don't look at it. It's not me. Wait, why did you say it's not me? Because, man, you know what these mistakes are going to constantly reveal to you? Again, I'm going to talk about it. You're not going to get it yet, but you're going to realize that a lot of the mistakes in your life are your fault. It's your ego. Okay? Figure out what went wrong, learn the lesson, and then just move on. Just move on. Keep your mistakes original. If it's an original mistake, look at it and smile and be like, excellent, I'm about to learn something super helpful. Don't repeat your mistakes. You're going to. But really do your best to keep that to a minimum. Do your best to keep that to a minimum. Now, let me give you some advice, though, on how to reduce the mistakes, right? I get that, like, mistakes are lessons, but some mistakes have a cost, and some mistakes cost a lot. They're very expensive. Sometimes literally in money that you have now that's going to go away because you're going to have to spend it. And sometimes it's going to cost you money that you don't get to make and earn and have. You're going to prevent yourself from getting something. Well, sometimes it's not money. Sometimes your mistake is going to prevent you from having an experience, or it's going to rip something that you like away from you in your life, and that's going to be the pits, right? So that being said, I get that you want to minimize mistakes, but you need the lessons in the mistakes, right? So 2 things. First, you already know about modeling. You already know that you can go learn other people's mistakes. We're going to come back to that. But we need to talk about something else. Stop trying to do everything yourself. The reason why you keep making mistakes is because a lot of times you just don't know any better. It's your first time doing it. And you need to do things for the first time. And I know you enough to know how stubborn you are, that you are going to insist on learning some lessons the hard way by you making the mistake, you paying the price, and you getting the lesson. I know you're going to do that. However, there's a lot of things where you could pay a cheaper price and still get the lesson. It's called getting help. Remember what I said about the modeling? I know you like to look around and model success and read books from successful people, and that's all great. But that's not enough. Invest in yourself. Take your hard-earned money and invest it in yourself. Hire a coach. Hire a mentor. Buy different books. Take courses. Go to classes. Sign up for experiences. Because what you're doing is you're spending a price to get a lesson. And you could spend the price of your life, or you could spend the price of your money. You'll find that the money sometimes is a lot nicer. And when someone offers you guidance, bro, take it. You're not supposed to have all the answers. You're not that old yet. I'm telling you, eventually there's going to come a time when people are going to look to you to have the answers. We'll talk later when you get to that point. I've learned some things, but you ain't ready for it yet. So just hear me in this one. There's wisdom in seeking help. You want to be the answerer giver, but you need to become better at getting answers. Because there's going to come a time when you're going to turn around and you're going to talk to the seekers in your life, and you're going to have to tell them, like, hey, empty your cup. You can't tell them to empty your cup unless you've learned how to do it. You need to learn how to be a good student. Look, life is going to teach you all sorts of painful lessons, and a guide can help. But there's some lessons that can only be learned experientially. You know this. So you've got to start doing new things, my man. When was the last time you tried something for the first time? Seriously, when? Like brand new, first time ever doing it, totally unknown. You feel the feeling of sucking. You feel the feeling of the unknown. When was the last time you did something for the first time? And if you can't remember, it's been too long. If you can't immediately go, oh yeah, a few months ago I did this. No, if you have to like, well, when was the last time? It's been too long. And I know you. It's been too long. You've been living the same old for years. Same old problems, different faces, different names. Same old activities, different characters. Same old movies, different titles. Same old food, different flavors. You're just doing same. Your life is boring. Your life is uneventful. And if that's what you want, that's fine. But I know you, and I know that's not what you want. So get out there, explore, take risks, head off into the unknown, and find out what you're made of. That's where growth is going to happen. That's where you're going to find who you can be. But let's not forget, this is the only life you got. Stop wasting it. Stop waiting for someday. Someday isn't real. All you have is today. Live like you're dying, and you'll finally start feeling like you're living. Go show yourself what you can do. Go do it. You're not supposed to be a student forever. But right now, it's time to be a student. But there's going to come a time when you're pushed out of the nest, so to speak, and it's time to see what you can do. And in some parts of your life, that time is now. That time is now. Find out who you are and who you're not. Enjoy this crazy adventure called living. It's the only shot you got at this life, so make it the best you can make it. Remember, we all live 2 lives, but the second life begins when you realize that you only have one.